Hey guys, Kaplar here, and I'm coming to you from the Pledge Store on the Robert Space Industries site. Now, if you're looking to get into Star Citizen, if you've read up on it and seen all the stuff around the site, and if you don't know where you find that, you pretty much find it all under the com link or the About tab. So if you're interested in the actual game itself, I'll check out there first. Right, onto the store. This is where you would acquire all your game packages. Now, game packages is what you require to play in the alpha and beta. I mean, you can get them later on to get into the game when it actually releases, which is completely fine and understandable, but if you want to get in all the early access stuff, then you'll need to head to the, pre-game packages. So, starting off, we've got the Auroras. Now, at the moment, you've got the Aurora MR, the MR Plus, and the LN. Now, those two ships are exactly the same, but I will warn you, do not buy the Aurora MR. Mainly because you wouldn't get into the beta with that package. And the beta is probably going to be one of the big things, because that'll probably be around the Persistent Universe time, so you're going to want that. So, if the cheapest package at the moment really is the Aurora MR Plus, which will give you the beta access. It doesn't give alpha anymore, you've got to buy that separately, which is the Arena Commander Pass, but that's just for dogfighting. So if you're not really interested in dogfighting, you might want to just miss out. You can still access it in the hangar. Yeah, so this is the Aurora MR. Now, the Auroras are quite varied in what they can do. I mean, they have been... There is, it's hard to explain, really. You can get attachments for it. They'll pretty much make it into a trading ship. Or, alternately, you can make it into more of an explorer or just a general kind of get-to kind of vehicle. So, they're quite adaptable. You can have, weapon mounts on the roof. And the one you get in the Arena Commander has missiles and other stuff as well. So, it's not a bad starting vehicle. And I think the vast majority of people will probably have Auroras. So, yeah. Moving on to the Aurora LN, which is another $5 more, you get a couple more guns on top, and it's a different paint job, I think. Other than that, there's not a great deal different to it, but if you want something with a bit more punch, then by all means check out the Aurora LN. The 300i, that's more of the, well, how they describe it as the BMW of the series. So this one's kind of a lot more stylized. Personally, out of the three single-seater ones that we have at the moment, so the Hornet, the Aurora, and the 300i, I kind of prefer the 300i. It handles really well, it's got a great field of view out of the cockpit, and it's also got a bed inside. Well, the Aurora has a bed inside, I suppose, but the 300i just looks a lot better, and it's generally, compared to the minibus of the Aurora driving around, the 300i flies a lot better. And moving on, you got the 315p, which is the Explorer variant. So if you're looking to go exploring, more or less, in the galaxy, then by all means look at that one. And the 325A, which is the kind of militarized version. So if you want something that has a bit more punch, and I think it's got different engines and stuff like that, so bit more punch, bit more kind of shooty, pow, pew, pew, pew stuff, then 325A is probably not a bad bet. Okay, moving on to the next one. I'll skip the Hornet for the time being because the Avenger's technically the next cheapest. So, the Avenger's one that isn't out yet. So, that is something to bear in mind. It is supposed to be the next one to come out, and it is a very pretty ship. But this one's been listed more as a kind of bounty hunter ship. So, once again, if that's something you're interested in, then by all means take a look at this ship. Comes with the beta and everything. Yeah, it's more or less the same as the other packages include. And pretty much this, honestly, it's one of my favorite ships because it has a cargo hold in the back. So if you were looking to do at least some light cargo before you can earn a bigger ship, then the Avenger is a very good bet for that because it has it all by default. It also has some human storage pods in it. That sounds a bit grim. It's more like a kind of transport. So if you're transporting humans or you've got a bounty, then you can stock them away in your hold. Yeah, so that's more or less the Avenger. It's also a bit of a sniper ship in the way that it's got a powerful front gun, but at the same time it's apparently got power management issues, so you might have to alternate between that and the engines. So we can't really say how it will fly yet, but personally I love the look of it, and it's worth looking into if you want something that looks cool and possibly flies cool. Either way, big engine. Right, the Hornet. Now the Hornet is the kind of military standard vehicle. The basic Hornet doesn't come with many guns. I don't know. Yeah, there's a varied amount of them. None of them really come with a turret anymore. Yeah, here you go. So you can see this Hornet here. It hasn't got the top turret on it, which a lot of the ones in the Arena Commander will have. That is the militarized version. I'd imagine you can probably upgrade it once you're actually in game, but for the time being, you've only got the kind of 2 side guns and possibly one on the front nose. I'm not sure if they've implemented that yet, as well as the missiles. Personally, I don't really like the way that Hornet flies. It's a bit kind of sluggish for me, but it is a pretty cool ship. It's definitely the most like iconic from the whole lot so far, and it does come with a business hangar, which is a slightly bigger variant of the default hangar. So yeah, that's something to consider as well. And then you got the variants of the Hornets, which once it gets back. So we've got the F7C, which I'm not actually sure what this one adds. Then you got the Ghost, which is the stealth version. Is this? Oh, I think this one's just got the physical stuff in it. So if you wanted some physical doodads and stuff to take home, then have a look at this F7C Plus, which is just the same as the F7C but with more stuff. So yeah, something to consider if you want some physical goodies. Right, the Hornet F7CS Ghost, which is really quite hard to say. That's a stealth variant, so it's all kind of very, well, stealthy, I guess you'd say. Low emission stuff, so it's supposed to be quite hard to track. I think this ship is mainly going to be for like sneaking up on people and kind of getting past blockades, so there's not so much of a use for it yet, but we'll have to see once they implement it in game, because we don't really know how the stealth mechanics are going to work yet, so it's one to consider. The tracker, that one is a kind of, well, I think the name kind of gives it away. It's used for kind of, you know, you wouldn't say surveillance, it's more kind of reconnaissance on an area. So you'd use this as part of a fleet to kind of pick up all the targets in an area, and then apparently you can relay all this information back to a command ship, say a Constellation or an Idris, which is a bigger one, it costs a lot of money. Yeah, so that's all the single person ships that we've seen so far, and they do get quite expensive. I mean, 155 for the tracker, but it goes down to 40. I mean, generally, depending on how you want to play the game, it's generally best to go for the 40 unless you're a lot more confident on what you want in it, or if you know that you're going to actually enjoy it, because I wouldn't recommend the game to someone I wasn't sure was going to certainly enjoy it, but it's got great promise, so I'll definitely consider it nonetheless. Right, so they're all the single person. Now, moving on, let's start with the Cutlass. Now, the Cutlass is, well, self-defined as a pirate ship, pretty much. It's got a 2-man crew, and then you've got the big kind of cargo hold as well. This one's mainly been defined for kind of raiding parties and kind of stuff like that. And it does come with the asteroid hangar as well, which is something to consider, because that does look beautiful. So if you're planning on... Actually, well, come to think of it, the variants of it are coming out soon. So I believe there is a mercantile and possibly an explorer or salvage variant of it. So salvaging, it might be worth waiting for the sale if you're interested in the Cutlass, but it's definitely worth it for the asteroid hangar if nothing else, because it is a beautiful hangar. The Freelancer. The Freelancer is the most recent one to come out, as in with the... variants, which is the Der and the Max. Now, the basic Freelancer is a fine ship. It's how many crew is it? It's around 4 crew, I think you can have in it, but I'd imagine you can probably have more people in it as well, because there is other stations in the ships. Yeah, so you got the basic Freelancer, which is decent cargo hold. It's pretty much a cargo hauler, but it's the kind of default one. Decent weapons on the side. You can kind of see the gun there, but it's a lot bigger in game, and there's 2 of them now because they haven't updated the pictures. And yeah, so if you like things like Firefly or just like general trading with friends, this might be a very good ship for you, because it's kind of got that feel to it inside, and you've got showers and tables and stuff. It's pretty cool. The Der, no, I can't help do that, is the Explorer variant. So once again, if you're looking for exploring, go for the Der, and the Max has a fat ass. So if you want cargo hauling, go for the Max, because that has got a huge cargo hold, and it's probably the biggest actual cargo hold you can get at the moment without the sails. And the Constellation, this is a ship that I think it was the first one I got, but it is a pretty stunning ship. $275 though, so unless you're definitely certain on the game, I wouldn't really risk it unless you're definitely certain, but I'm not too fussed, because I'm really happy with this ship. and what it's looking to be, because they are bringing out variants this month, I believe. Cross fingers. Pretty much, it's got the cockpit up front. You've got around 3 crew up there, and then all the way back you've got beds, table, cargo hold, everything pretty much. And it's got its own P-52 little fighter as well. So this will be a great one to have with friends. So that's another thing to consider. So going back to the whole package on the whole, what would I say the best bets are? I would probably say, at this point in time, unless you're really set in the game, then just stick with an Aurora, because it will save any money issues. One thing that you can do is upgrade ships. So if you get a lot more set in the game, if you get any more kind of invested in it, then you can just literally upgrade your ship package, which is down here. If you go to the little ship upgrade pack down there, you click on there, and here you go. You can literally upgrade 315. Actually, that's the... Oh, there we go. You can upgrade your Aurora to an LN, but then there is a cross chassis ones as well. Let me find them. There we go. Cross chassis. Okay, so there you go. Aurora MR to 300i, and etc, etc, etc. So if you wanted to upgrade that, you could easily do it. So that's something to consider. And I've said that a lot, which I'll avoid saying. Right, the other thing to also keep an eye out on is sales. Now, the most recent one, I'll go to my hangar and show you this, was the Xian Scout, or Xian? I think it's Xian. Yeah, I'll go with Xian. Right, which is this ship here. Now, this one doesn't come with anything as such, but it is a rarer ship. And these ships kind of come out every now and then. They'll announce a sale on the site. I'm sure if you keep an eye out on YouTube or Twitter and that kind of stuff, you'll see some sort of mention of it. There's been a lot of cool pictures on this ship. Yeah. And the other one I've got, which is slightly rare, let me just go through my massive list, is the Freelancer Miss, which was a special variant, which is another thing to keep an eye out for, because some of the variants are only going to be out for a limited time. So again, just keep an eye out for anything like this that comes out. The Miss was a limited missile boat, so yeah. They don't really add a great deal to it, but it's something, if you want something a bit more unique, then it can be a good way to go into it. Now, while I'm here, I may as well just look at this button here. You can exchange all these ships for store credit. So if you didn't want a cross chassis upgrade, or your option's not there yet, you can just literally trade all the money back in for store credit, and it'll give you the exact same amount that you put into it. So if I had an Aurora and I wanted to upgrade to a Freelancer, I could literally just exchange that for store credit, get the $40 or so back from the Aurora package, and then just pay the extra on top of that for the Freelancer. And I think I'm losing my voice because I've been talking too long. Anyway, I'll try and keep this as short as possible. So I think that more or less covers it. If you've got any questions or anything, or you found this useful, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and subscribe, like, and all that kind of jazz. So that's me signing off. Cutlass out. Ciao.